Hello everyone, welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today we have Satyan Israni with us. Satyan has been practicing as a lawyer for more than 20 years now in the field of business, corporate, commercial, securities, and property law. And he's the managing partner of SD Israni Law Chambers. He is also a fellow member of Institute of Company Secretaries of India and also an advocate of Supreme Court of England and Wales. He holds a master's degree in law from the University of Mumbai, where he stood first in the subject Law of International Business Transactions. Besides holding a diploma in civil law, he also holds an international certification in the field of intellectual property laws from the World Intellectual Property Organization. Recently, he has completed a certificate course with honors on financial markets from the renowned Yale University. He has also completed a certificate course on Fintech Law and Policy from Duke University. So let's talk to him straight and get some more information. So hello, Mr. Satyan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Pleasure is all ours, Mr. Satyan. So firstly, let's just speak about pandemic as we are still in between the pandemic. So the pandemic saw some courts begin moving towards more remote proceedings and availability. Is this sustainable and a possible way to increase access to justice, in your opinion?
So, according to me, the government did a good thing and the judiciary did a good thing there by making technology available and ensuring that people had access to justice by moving it online. But it's not a foolproof system. In fact, I think moving forward, we should develop a sort of a hybrid system where we have offline and online, because both systems have their benefits and both systems also have disadvantages. Like when it's an online hearing, most of the time, many people will face some network issues. Their Wi-Fi will not be proper, or they'll not be able to show voluminous documents online. It's difficult to show the judge if you have a whole bunch of documents, which is possible in offline, where you can directly refer to documents and they can have access to it. So they need to develop some kind of system. But what happens is when it's online, say, for example, when Supreme Court was online, people did not have to travel all the way to Delhi to attend the Supreme Court hearings. Even the litigants, they didn't have to spend their hard-earned money to go all the way to Delhi to attend their hearing. They could do it from their own village, from their own city, town, wherever they were. So that something is there where the policymakers need to keep that in mind. That they need to develop a hybrid system. So give that option to people. If it is convenient, then go for online. If it is not convenient, if it's you have to do it offline, then do it offline. But there has to be some option available. But both systems are good in their own ways.
All right, great. So in the era of legal technology, what are the mostly common tools used for you?
So, law has been constantly evolving, and even technology has been evolving along with it. These days, what is happening is there are so many, and because of COVID, we all were forced to be indoors and not move around. So then we had to get access to technology. So what I have done is to keep track of court hearings and all, I have subscribed to a few apps which specialize depending on the various courts. So there is an app which is for NCLT. There is an app for the High Court. So I get regular updates on my matters, on when the matter is going to come, if an order has been uploaded, when that order has been uploaded. So I keep track accordingly. I have subscribed to some online resources, and I keep track of seminars and webinars. You attend them, you get updated on a regular basis. So it's necessary that you keep yourself abreast with all this technological development, so that then then you can have speedy access, and then advise your clients also in a speedy manner, which is very efficient. Otherwise, if you say that court is closed, I cannot go there physically, then it does not really cut ice with the clients also. So taking benefit of these various apps and the websites of these agencies, it really is very helpful.
All right. So you are actually really liking the virtual experience of everything.
So absolutely.
All right. I understand, because it actually helps. So, Mr. Israni, now moving forward, now as you all know that time is money in any profession, and in
Right.
legal it's most of all. So how do you ensure to make the best use of your time as a lawyer?
So, what has happened is that, as I keep telling everyone, law is constantly evolving. In fact, for us now, we cannot just rely on whatever we learned when we graduated and became lawyers or whatever was the old law. We have to constantly be in a process where we unlearn and relearn. We can't rely on everything, whatever was earlier there. So we have to evolve along with the law. You can't. So what I do is, I remember one very interesting quote. It said that investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. So it is in our own interest to keep upgrading our knowledge, because these days, in the age of Google Baba, whoever comes to us for advice has already done some of their own background research and they know a little bit already. So they expect a certain kind of answer. And if you're not able to give them the correct answer, then you will lose a client and probably some reputation as well, because, as lawyers, you're not allowed to advertise. It's only by word of mouth that people come to know about us. So it's in our interest to sustain ourselves that we are constantly upgraded. So what I personally keep doing, I like to read a lot. I subscribe to a lot of these authorities' websites where I get updates whenever some new circular, some new notification or something has come. And I subscribe to the journals which are the relevant ones for my practice, the corporate law journals. And to keep myself updated, I attend seminars and conferences whenever it's required. Because somebody else has done the hard work, then I get an update within 2 hours of what is the latest development of law. But it's very necessary. I don't rely so much on WhatsApp forwards and newspapers, because they are generally more of somebody's opinions rather than actual interpretation of law. But then I use them as reference points to come to whatever reasoning I have to come to. And then, of course, the bare acts which are there, I make sure that I subscribe to the latest one, whichever is there, because you never know what has changed, and you can't rely even on a 3-month-old bare act if the law has changed in the last 3 months. So these are some things which I constantly keep doing to ensure that I'm updated with the latest developments, so that if anybody comes for advice, I am able to and competent enough to give them whatever is the latest development of law.
All right, I completely understand. So as you all know that lawyers are, completely occupied throughout the day.
That's
So
right.
also please also tell us, like, how do you find time for your, for your personal life or your family, or, so how do you differentiate between them?
So, I've always had that strong inclination that, work is not everything. You have to look after your family. You have to give some time to yourself also. So what I do is I am an avid sports person. I play a lot of club cricket since the last several years. And apart from that, I'm also having a very keen interest in community service. So I'm a part of the Rotary Club of Bombay, where we do a lot of community service in diverse areas. And of course, spending time with the family goes without saying. A happy family makes you also happy. And you have to ensure that you devote enough time everywhere, because work is important, but then without family, that work is meaningless. So I try to have a balance, but yes, wherever work demands, and if you have to sacrifice one of your other pursuits, you have to do it, because you have to ensure that you deliver your work on time. So that is there.
Exactly. So I was reading the other day an article from an advocate, and he had an experience of more than 20 years. So a question was asked for him, like how he was able to manage so many things. So he told that initially in the beginning of his career, for 10 straight years, he has been, completely into his work. So he made them count that what he has actually achieved in that particular decade.
Right.
And then he actually helped them understand that what he has actually lost. So he told them about the personal life, and how he was not able to spend time with his children and everything.
Right.
So so you are absolutely right. So it is really important to have space for both at different levels. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, Mr. Israni, now let's move forward. And I would like to know what have been your core areas of practice over the past 20 years.
So, over the past 20 years, I've had a lot of focus, because I have a CS background also. So a lot of corporate law related work has been a core area of practice. And the company law has also evolved now. We have different streams of corporate laws. We have bankruptcy law, which has become such a huge area now. So I've been having a lot of strength on the corporate laws and the securities laws parts. But over the years, then I've also started expanding my area of practice into property laws. And more recently, I've taken more keen interest into the blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies and fintech, because that is the future now as we see it. So I've been trying to keep up with the times and move along, because the core area always remains corporate laws, but this is something which I've expanded into, and because I see that as a future. And it expands to both litigation and non-litigation. Over COVID, I saw a lot of clients wanting a lot of advisory services. They wanted a lot of documentation help and all, which has now become a prime area of focus, and a lot of estate advisory and succession planning, which has happened over the last 2 years. So suddenly during COVID, everybody realized that life is so fragile that 1 minute you're there, next minute you're not there, and then what happens to your kith and kin who are left behind? So better to have proper planning in place. So that has become an area of focus now again. So this is what has been my broad spectrum of work over the last several years.
Great, great. And also, what is the type of clientele that you cater to?
So it has been all sorts of corporates who have been our clients. You can take some of the biggest names as well as some of the private companies. Over the years, we have been associated with some reputed listed companies, some reputed private limited companies, some reputed unlisted companies. And we have done a lot of advisory work for their managements, for their any issues which they have faced over the years. So I will not take names, but it has been a pretty diverse portfolio where we have been involved. And we've handled all sorts of work for them, whether it is ranging from mergers and amalgamations, or whether it is advising them on certain corporate decisions, or whether it is handling any shareholder management disputes. So it has covered the entire gamut of work.
All right, all right. I completely understand. So, thank you so much for sharing such good insights with us, Mr. Israni. We look forward to having a chat with you again in the future on some other trending topics in the international legal space. So, for our viewers, if you like this chat with Mr. Satyan Israni, please like and share this video as much as you can, and also subscribe to Clickaway Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. And you have more coming from us. And this is Nikhil from Let's Talk World signing off.